Hey, welcome to On the Porch. I'm Todd, and I'm joined by my friend Ken. This very special episode of On the Porch, we're going to break down the mathematics involved with quantum entanglement. Are you ready for this one, Ken?
Well, that's a new one on me, but you might as well have been speaking in Chinese just then. I have no idea what you just said, but yeah, let's go for it. Let's go
Yeah.
for it. Never back down from a challenge.
All right. We just told you everything we know about that subject, so we'll see you guys next week. Speaking of next week, next Sunday is Easter Sunday. Ken and I were talking. We both kind of have some family things going on and some plans up in the air, and we don't want to have to push those off to the side or have to rush or anything as we get some time with some family. We don't see that often. So we won't be here next week because we'll be celebrating Easter, but we will be back the week after for sure. So I'll remind everybody again at the end of the week with the social post and all that. But yeah, Easter is upon us. It's a little early this year, Ken. Do you like it better in early like this in March, or do you like it later?
I kind of like it earlier.
Yeah.
I kind of like this, man, because it's just a holiday and you get to roll into it, because any later than this and it starts getting really warm and
Mm-hmm.
you feel like doing other things too. It's hard to cram everything in, kind of like it is during the Christmas holidays. You have a lot of spring things I want to do.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say would like it a week after, but that really doesn't help me. I got two kids' birthdays on the 2nd of April, and then my wife's birthday on the 7th. So then Easter kind of gets kind of close to all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it makes for a full couple of weeks of, getting together for all the parties and the Easters and all that stuff. But I prefer it early. I don't like it real late in April. A week or two in April is okay, but late in April, then it's like it's Easter, then a week, 2 weeks later, it's Mother's Day. That I never enjoy that. And I don't like a super hot Easter, but I don't like it cold either. But I don't know what it's going to be this year. We've been such a roller coaster the past week. I thought spring had sprung, but we've been warm and cold. So,
Buddy, we just Mary just called me out back as I was getting ready to come out here to the studio, and she said, "Come look at the full moon." And you're just talking about the weather back and forth. Dude, there's a beautiful full moon out there, like shining across the water right now. That's a nice part about living on the lake. You get to see that.
yeah.
I don't know if it's cloudy where you're at or not, but it is clear as a bell here, man. Today was a beautiful day. 65 degrees, sunny, and I was doing retired things today.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, thanks for hopping in here with us, buddy. Appreciate you.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, bud?
Yeah. So what do you consider retired things?
Grilling, cooking a pork tenderloin right in the middle of the day, and I didn't care what time it got done.
Oh, that's nice.
it was done when it was done.
Yeah.
And that had our neighbor over, and we just it ended up being about 2:00, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
That was our late lunch, I guess. Because we were gonna. So did that, and then we went tootling. My wife calls it a tootle. Out on the pontoon boat, we got out and putzed around a little bit. Then it come back, and then I got the motorcycle out, went for a spin on that. So it's just kind of been a retire. Then came back and watched basketball.
Oh,
so,
yeah. That's fun. I guess it was about mid-50s, upper 50s here today and sunny. And I spent the day out in the garage making cabinet doors for that TV pop-up stand I've been working on. So
how's that going, man?
It's going good, going slow, but I'm doing it slow on purpose. That way I don't screw it up, because normally my habit is to hurry up and get done with it, and then I rush and take shortcuts and all that. But I don't want to do that this time.
So do you have a joiner and everything, or a planer or anything? What kind of tools are you using? Are they really advanced tools, or are you just using your basic?
No, just basic. I don't have a planer or a joiner. I have a really crappy table saw that I have to square the fence up every time I use it and make sure the blade's squared, and just a palm router and drills and drivers, so that kind of thing. Like
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, you don't really need all those. I mean, yes, I guess if you
Yeah.
were doing it for a business, you would, but man, you can build some really good stuff without all those fancy tools.
Yeah, you can. Um, biggest thing is to be real meticulous. You know, I'm not a professional woodworker by any means, but if I would suggest anything to anybody that wants to do woodworking but don't want to buy a whole bunch of expensive tools, spend the most you can on the best table saw you can, because
Mm,
that will give you such accurate and repeatable cuts that you'll look like a professional.
yeah.
When you get a little janky cheap one that the fence keeps moving on you and all this stuff, and
Mhm.
you're wondering why your cuts aren't the straightest, it's like, it's
Well,
like,
buddy, there's something else you need a good thing too that I found extremely handy was a belt sander
yeah.
because you can screw up really bad on your measurements and one board sticking up and you can grind that thing down to the to the
Oh yeah.
level of the other one
Yeah.
and it'll look really good. But
Oh yeah. I got
so
one of those, belt sanders with the disc sander on the side.
mhm.
And, that's an angry little beaver. I'll tell you that. You don't want to put any pressure on that or it's going to go away,
Yeah.
disappear,
Yeah.
so. But I
Yeah.
kind of cheated. I was making like shaker style doors instead of like running the dados in the boards and sliding the panel
Mhm.
in. I just built the door frame and then took my palm router and routed out rabbets out of the back and then put the sheet in there and glued it in and put a
Okay.
couple of staples in just to kind of hold it as the glue dries. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of cheating, but, uh,
Man, there's all kinds of ways to do stuff,
yeah,
you know?
it'll look fine once it's all painted and stuff. It's just, with my table saw getting the repeatable cuts to do dados, and my table saw doesn't take a dado stack. The auger, is it auger? Is that arbor isn't,
Mhm.
wide enough to take a dado stack. So yeah,
Yeah, so you start talking all that dado stuff. I've heard it, but I never used all that. My toolbox consisted of a good sander, a roll of duct tape, a good tube of caulk, and a gallon of paint. So you between those right there,
yeah.
you can make anything, sand it down, glue it, tape it, and then paint over it, caulk it, paint over it, and make it look good.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of my skills.
Well, seems to work pretty well for you.
Yeah, for a while, man.
Yeah.
Now I've done I can build some things. I have over the years, cabinets and stuff like that.
Hmm.
At our other house, we lived in Nashville. I built a
Yeah.
lot of like freestanding cabinets, and I actually I made them out of MDF, most of them because I painted them.
Right.
So MDF is easy to work with, sand and everything, and it's easy to get square, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's perfectly flat. When you get it, and it won't bow up on you and
Right?
all that good stuff. But,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
MDF is nice, and I just never have. I've always kind of wanted to take the plunge and work with it, but every
Mhm.
time I go there, I always just kind of gravitate towards wood. You know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, yeah. But if you're gonna paint something seriously, like
Yeah.
if you're making a shelf or a cabinet, something that has multiple shelves in there, that stuff, if you're gonna paint that stuff, it's so easy to work with.
Yeah.
Once you use it, you're like, man, why did I use anything else? I just
Yeah.
have to paint it from now on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll need to find a project that I can use MDF on. I need a new
Mhm.
record. I need a new. I don't guess I need a new one. I need a. I don't know. I was thinking about building another record stand for my vinyl records,
Oh, yeah.
and, might try to MDF on that.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be good. That's what I did in Nashville. We had a this is what I did. I made it's like a square shelf that my records could fit
uh-huh.
in. It was about 6 feet, no, about let's see, it was 5 feet tall and 6 feet wide.
Hmm.
It had a couple shelves in there that would fit just right for my albums. But then instead of putting like four legs on it or something, what I did was put it was let's see, it was 3-inch pipe, like
Uh-huh.
galvanized pipe with a flange on the end of it.
Yeah.
And I just screwed that into the floor and then set my shelf on top of that. So it's kind of industrial looking,
Yeah, that's cool.
you know?
Yeah, that's real cool. I'm needing to build a shelf behind me. I got this ladder turn shelf thing with my record player on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to build a shelf or stand or that can hold my records and have the record player like on the top, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
That'd be cool.
yeah, yeah. I thought about I got that old, we talked about it last year, but that stereo console I got, that Zenith from the early
Mm-hmm.
70s. I thought about buying one of those that didn't work just for the shell, for the old style looking cabinet and somehow converting that, but I don't know if I want to go all that trouble or just build something.
Yeah, man. There's a on Facebook. There's a group. I forget the name of it. I had to look it up, and I'll have the answer next week. It is so cool. They take these vintage radios
Uh-huh.
and not the big consoles, just the radios like set on the table or something, and they rig them up. They put Bluetooth and everything in there, and just refurbish them, update them. They're so cool. I've been
Oh
wanting to get
yeah.
one, but they're like $250 to $500
Oof.
for a radio. But when you see them, they're so cool, man.
Yeah, yeah, that would be
Just
fun to do.
just the appearance of them.
Yeah. They did that at the when we went to the Puppet Museum in Atlanta. They had those old TVs, like the shells, and then they had put the modern flat screens in them, so it looked like an old time TV, but it had a
Yeah,
modern screen on it. That was pretty cool.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I took pictures because um, to remind me of it because I thought that's something I could probably do,
Mm-hmm.
and things because I kind of like the old TVs that sit on the floor. Like I guess they were called console TVs or something.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Yeah,
my grandparents had both of them had this big like Zenith thing. It was probably only like 32 inches,
right.
but it was a monster and about a
Yeah,
million pounds. But it was so cool because at the time it was big.
yeah, those things were huge,
Hmm.
and but some of them had four legs on it. Have
Yeah,
you ever seen those?
yeah,
They didn't just sit all the way down the floor. They had four legs. Those are awesome. I
yeah.
love
Those
those.
are cool. Those
I
are
think
cool.
those were more of the. Those might have been more in the '60s, maybe though. I think
Yeah,
kind
with the
of
legs.
mid-century,
Yeah,
mid-century
yeah, and they were
stuff.
usually a little smaller. They were probably
Mm.
I don't want to say 13. That might be a little small, but like maybe 24 inches or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say. It's hard to tell because now when I talk about TV size, I'm thinking rectangle and not
Mm-hmm.
the square. You know,
Right. Yeah.
and 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 things. But do you know the original TV was panoramic? Um, but they went to the. I don't remember why they went to the or 3:4 ratio. I can't remember. I think it was for the tube technology or something. I don't remember.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the guy with all the technical knowledge, man.
Well, it would make sense to make the TVs a rectangle panoramic like that because that's how people see,
Mm-hmm.
and movies had been around what 40 or 50 years
Mm-hmm.
for TV, and they were all the rectangle side screen. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, movies. That reminds me. Have you seen Ghostbusters? The new Ghostbusters?
No, I haven't.
Me neither. But it's here in Jamestown, man. We have a movie theater called
Uh-huh.
Castle Cinemas. Has two movies in it, and they're up to date movies. They're not like seconds or reruns or anything like that. B
Yeah.
movies, but they have them and they run like 2 weeks each.
Yeah.
So Ghostbusters just came, so I'm all excited, man. I want to go
Yeah.
see.
I
I
haven't
love them.
seen I still haven't seen what was it, Afterlife, the one that came out a few years back.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen that neither, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see this one.
Yeah.
Because the reason is the timing's right on, man, because I've been listening to some Halloween podcasts lately.
Oh
I think I
yeah.
told you that the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know why, dude. It's just like that's the next holiday that's coming before Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I never have even listen to Halloween
Yeah.
podcasts. And I found a couple that I really like.
Oh, that's nice.
And so Ghostbusters come out, and I'm like, yes, right on time. So
Yeah. That's funny because I found this YouTube channel. I'm not a big horror movie fan. I will watch a few, but I'm real particular about them, and I don't just want to watch a bunch of them. I'm just not a big fan. But I kind of want to. But I kind of have this curiosity about them at the same time, because a lot of times they're so engrossed in like pop culture and things. But I found this YouTube channel called CZ's World, and he basically does like cliff notes of horror movies. So it's like I can listen to him and then get everything I need to know, without
yeah,
actually having to sit there and watch the movie. And
yeah.
yeah,
Well, hey, yeah, Chris. So I need to see the Afterlife first.
yeah, probably need to see
Mm.
Afterlife. So
Yeah. Hey, Chris, how much is a movie? How much is it to go see a movie in New York City, buddy? Here in
oh,
here in Jamestown, Tennessee, it's a whopping $5.
I'm gonna say it's $23 for
23.
That's what I'm gonna say. It's $12 here. Last time I went, which I can't remember the last time I went to see a movie. What was the last movie I went to go see? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been a minute, but yeah,
But I've seen more movies since I moved here, man, than I saw in the last 10 years, probably because
yeah,
it is $5. I go see some movies that, like, I would never.
yeah.
I'll just go for
He
the
said too
popcorn.
much.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, 20's
Oh,
about right. I was a little
yeah,
over, but
no, man, we can go $5 and then a popcorn and a Coke and candy. You can get out for about $10.
yeah, that ain't
So
bad. That ain't bad.
no, that's
Yeah,
the big popcorn, a big Coke, and everything.
yeah, yeah. Do you get the refill of popcorn on your way home?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I
Well,
think
I
that's
don't know
law.
about on the way home. I've never done it on the way home,
Yeah,
usually, man, I'm popcorned out, dude.
yeah,
By the time I get to the bottom of a big popcorn.
yeah. Afterlife wraps up the Egon storyline. So
Man, I'm so out of it, dude. I don't even know what Egon. What is Egon?
Egon,
What is
he was
that?
he was was it Ramus? Uh, Actor, I can't remember his first name. Ramus. He was the guy with glasses in the first two movies.
Oh, okay.
Harold
Yeah.
Ramis. Harold
Yeah.
Ramis. That right? Yeah, that's Egon. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Well, I guess I need to watch that in Afterlife.
yeah. Seems like I might need to watch the first two and then Afterlife.
Mm.
I mean, I've seen the first two, but good Lord, it's been a good million years since I've seen them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harold Ramis. Yeah, yeah. I remember he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, you need to give somebody else a chance to speak, buddy. I'm just kidding you with it.
I'm gonna make Chris a moderator, so he can
Okay.
keep that chat cleaned out for us.
That's right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
I wonder if oh goodness, his name was on the tip of my tongue, and getting old really sucks. Because his name was on the tip of my tongue a second time, and I went to go say it, and it just left.
So who are we talking about?
Where's Art? Yeah, I don't know where Art is.
I don't know. We're gonna have to get on Art, man.
Yeah, we'll have to get on him. I wonder if
when we get done.
yeah, who's the guy that he was in the first Ghostbusters as the gatekeeper or something, and then Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and oh goodness, what's his name?
You got me there, buddy.
He left. He like bowed out of Hollywood, and after I think his wife passed away, so then he like quit acting to raise his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, but I think his kids are old enough now. I think he's starting to get back into acting, and I wonder if he's going to make an appearance in any of these.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Mm-hmm.
I can't think of it. Gosh, dang. His name is so on the tip of my tongue. I could hit the Google Yeah, Rick Moranis. Thanks, Chris.
Man, Chris
So,
is he's
yeah,
all over it.
yeah,
Chris,
yeah,
you need to be on the show to
yeah, Chris, we're
pick up
gonna
the slack when we can't think of things.
yeah. He's younger than we are, so
Hmm.
his mind's more of a steel trap.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind's a steel trap. It's all rusty and stuck open, but it's like a steel trap.
As long as it's open, man, that's fine. But if it's closed, you know, that's not
Maybe
good.
that's it. Maybe it's rusty and stuck closed. I don't know. But
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's, Ghostbusters or Kung Fu Panda, man, so I'm
oh
headed to
man, I
Ghostbusters.
don't think you
I
can
don't know.
go wrong with either one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I kinda got a busy week, man. Got several things to do this week, and I don't know, maybe Thursday night, maybe I might go. But that's
Yeah.
what we do up here in Jamestown. Man, I went to, remember last year down in Pall Mall, which is just down the mountain?
Uh-huh.
When you were here and we went to the place we went and ate the catfish?
Yeah.
Remember that? It was down in that area. They had that, long gun, that black powder rifle competition last year that they've
Yes.
been having every year since Sergeant York had it way back when.
Uh-huh.
So, I met a couple guys from that, and, I went down and did a podcast from there last year, and, kinda stayed in touch, and I met them down there, and we hung out for the day. That was pretty cool. Beautiful day down there.
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna get to shoot one of those rifles, but it's like, I didn't wanna bust their groove, 'cause
Yeah.
they're, like, actually competing, and they're like, "Yeah, you can shoot this if you want," and I was like, "No," 'cause I couldn't hardly see the target, man. It was so far off, dude, with they don't use, optics or anything like that, no
Uh-huh.
scopes or anything, and it's like, I think they're just guessing anyways. Anyway, but that's what I did this past, Saturday. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, sounds like it.
That those guys take it serious, man. It's like everything else, once you get into it, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
If you really wanna be good at it.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine get years ago get into the Civil War reenactment stuff,
Mhm.
and I was like, nerd, nerd alert.
Yeah,
But then he gets real into it, and then it gets real cool because then it's like he knows all this stuff and tries to get all these like vintage uniforms and buttons
yeah.
and all that, and it's like you know everything can, to me, anything can be really awesome, especially when you
Mhm.
find people that's real passionate about it.
Oh, yeah,
I just like
absolutely.
seeing, people that love something talk about it,
Mhm.
and no matter what it is, and it's probably pretty much why I'll watch a documentary about anything, you know,
Mm.
because then you get to see people that really love
Yeah.
it talk about it. So
Yeah, I love watching music documentaries
yeah, I do too.
about bands and stuff, that's from, like, especially the older ones from my childhood.
Hmm.
I never knew anything about them back then. I didn't
Yeah,
care back then, so it's interesting to see
yeah,
what actually went on to the music I was listening to when I was growing up.
yeah, yeah. I
But you
like
and I, but we can't call anybody a nerd, man.
no, we can't.
We're such nerds on so much stuff,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I know. I still call people that just for fun.
Yeah.
You-
Oh, I announced myself,
yeah.
around other guys. I mean, there's some guys up here that, and I told you before, they're like the guys up here are like a man's man,
Uh-huh.
they can fix a car, they can go fishing or hunting, or they can do anything, fix anything, They can
Yeah.
fix anything, and, and there's they'll ask me, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Well, I'm a Christmas nerd." So that's my first words, 'cause, it's like, okay, I'm throwing that in there, so
Yeah.
don't judge me if you do, I don't really care, man,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so
I've always kind of been, I guess, blessed with that. I really don't care what people think.
mhm,
Um, I didn't really notice it until I had kids, and they were coming home from like early elementary school and having problems with people, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" And of course they're all like crying and upset and worried and stressed out and all this stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
"What's it matter? It doesn't matter," you know.
or
And so I've never really, it never has really bothered me what people thought about me one way or the other,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why, but I guess it just hasn't. And but but it's been good and bad, I guess. But
Yeah,
you
man, I
know,
wish I could have been that way when I was young because I sure was not.
yeah,
Not when I was young. I was always trying to fit in and be the chameleon and change.
yeah,
But today it's like, man, I am what I am, dude.
yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Well,
You
yeah, that's kind of some problem is I never really fit in, you know, and uh, and especially like when I got into music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend of me tell me that I was like, because I bought a CD. I can't even remember the band. I bought the CD and was like, you guys need to listen to this band. You need to listen to this band. You need to listen to this band. And no one really did, And then like 3 months later, for some reason, they blew up and everybody was just like talking about them. And I was like already done listening to their CD,
Right.
And he was like, "You're like 3 months, 4 months ahead of everybody else in the music." And it's like, well, maybe you should listen,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know. But I was always trying to find stuff. I remember like ordering like there was some catalog. I don't even know how I found it because it was like dial-up internet. We had to unplug our phone and plug our computer into the phone line so no one
Mhm.
could call. And and got this catalog of like out of print CDs and cassette tapes and stuff.
Mhm.
A bunch of like obscure bands and things, and get the little black and white catalog in the mail, and then I like order them and send it off a check and have to wait for them to come in and all this and that. And it's like, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that now. Now
Yeah.
it's so easy with Discogs and
Yeah.
Merch Bar and stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was wild. All you know the routes we would go to find out stuff.
Yeah. Did you have so you had dial up? Were
Yeah,
you
yeah,
old enough to have that?
yeah. I had dial up, but it was after high school.
Mm.
I graduated in '95. I can't remember if we had dial up my senior year or not, but I know we did in college. I went to
Mhm.
college for a couple of years. We had it then, but yeah, yeah. But we only had one phone line, so we had to unplug the phone. So especially mom, would be like, "Hey, I'm expecting a call for work, so don't get on the internet,"
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember that, dude. I remember the first time I ever got on the internet, I was floored, and it was, I was trying to buy some kettle corn from this place, God, it was like in Minnesota or someplace up there. I'd seen them at a craft fair, got one of
uh-huh.
their cards. I loved it. Their kettle corn was just really good. It was better than most. The ratio of the sweetness and the saltiness and all that.
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, we're online." They gave me the card, and we just got the internet, got it hooked up, and I really hadn't even used it. And I put in their website, and it starts, doing all the pinging and the noise it makes, and then it started downloading. And if you remember, it would like load up and go up.
Mhm.
You just move up and load. It wouldn't just appear.
Yeah.
And I was amazed, dude. I said, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, here it is! Can't believe it."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I remember my freshman year of college, my first semester, so it'd been fall of '95. They took all the incoming freshmen into this big room and then like showed us how to use Netscape to get on the internet. And it's like
mm,
we kind of already knew because we've done it a little bit, in high school. But it,
yeah,
it it was like it was really cool. You know, but man, it was really rudimentary. A lot of text, not as much images,
right.
and
Oh yeah,
you had to sit and wait. It was fast at the time because you didn't know any better. But man, if you had to use those speeds now, you'd be pulling your hair out as
oh yeah.
fast as it is.
There was no way we could. We're very impatient now.
Oh yeah,
We've gotten spoiled. There's
yeah.
no
I
way we could ever go back.
remember using the eBay where you'd have to mail off a money order, and then and then you'd
I
have to.
don't. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was early eBay. You buy something on eBay, then you'd have to mail whoever you bought something from a money order,
Oh my gosh.
and then when they got it, they'd mail you the thing. So
My goodness. No, I don't
yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Never bought off anything off eBay that early.
yeah, yeah. It was a little bit. it wasn't too long. Then PayPal was pretty much invented for eBay.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember my dad used the money order process for quite a while after that, because he still to this day he's not big on having like credit cards or anything online,
Mm-hmm.
except for Amazon. He's okay. He's okay with that one. But
yeah, I wouldn't know what to do without Amazon and eBay, man. Those two things right there.
Yeah. I've been looking through Etsy quite a bit lately. It's pretty neat to find some stuff that you can't find other places, And
dude, have you been ordering any more Temu stuff?
No, I haven't.
And I did one time, and I don't know, it just freaks me out. I just don't get a good feeling about that.
Yeah, I don't like the app because it feels like it's just too much going on, And all the time they're like, spend this to win, so many points and get all this junk for free. It's like, what am I doing? I don't want any of that,
Yeah, I didn't ask for that. Don't.
Yeah,
I'm always scared that I'm getting tricked.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because they're getting pretty darn creative, man, on all that stuff. I mean, it's sometimes it's really hard to tell. Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to tell, but if you just got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, I have customers stop me at least once a week, especially elderly customers, about getting text messages or emails from the post office wanting them to click links for their package that couldn't be delivered. And it's like, no, it's not it.
Right.
It's not them. I'm like, you really have to pay attention to the web address, even though that looks legit. Pay attention. If it's not like USPS.com or Amazon.com, it's something else. It's not them. And a lot of times those places won't reach out to you at all. And I don't know how many calls I get in a day that's like suspected spam. I used to answer them and give them a hard way to go, but that gets old after a while too. But they just try and try and try. It's just a mess.
Yeah. Well, man, we talked about Easter. This is the way my brain thinks. So it always goes back to food or music somehow.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Easter coming up. Dude, I'm gonna cook a ham, a double smoked ham, raspberry chipotle, because you can get the brown sugar, honey cured and all that, but just wanting something a little different.
Yeah.
And I cooked one like that probably about 5 years ago. It was really good, man. But you smoke it and then put this raspberry chipotle glaze on it.
Uh-huh.
And, because when it cooks, you get the ones that spiral cut. And as they cook, they start kind of, each slice of ham kind of starts, there's a space in between them.
Uh-huh.
Kind of start shrinking a little bit, so it creates a space between them.
Yeah.
You just slather that raspberry chipotle up in there and over the top. It's really good. It's just a little different.
Yeah. Sounds really good.
Yeah, that's gonna be our contribution to going over to Jeff and Susan's house for.
Yeah. Is it?
It's not a Friendsgiving. I guess it's a friends.
A feaster.
Yeah, feaster. There you go. Friendster.
Yeah, Friendster. Is it a bone-in ham or?
Yeah, it'd be bone-in.
Yeah. I still like the baked ham with the pineapples and cherries on top. I always like getting the end piece that's got all like the pineapple juices in it.
Yeah. Man, I've never had one of those. I've seen them plenty of times, but I've never had one.
Yeah, they're good. Pineapple. Yeah, they're good. Again, kind of give it a little bit of a sweet, a little sweet, because I think it's mostly like a salted ham, but then you use the cherries and the pineapples to sweeten it up, I guess. I don't know. I just eat it. I don't cook it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you, man.
But yeah, I always like the end parts of the ham too best.
That has the most of the flavor on it.
I guess. I don't know. I just like them. I just like them best. I just like that. It's like burn ends, I guess.
Yeah, so. Sure it is. Sure it is.
Yeah.
Well, last time I got to cook I ain't done a brisket in a long time.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been cooking a lot of tri-tip lately. Jeez.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because up here, you know what tri-tip is? You ever cooked that?
Yeah. I never
cooked that's it. Not real that's not popular in the South because, it comes mainly from out west. And by the time it gets here, they can grind it up and put it in ground chuck and get more per pound than they can selling it as tri-tip.
Right.
So I talked to the butcher up here, and he said, "Yeah, we tried tri-tip several years back, and it just didn't sell well." So I said, "There's enough people that's moved in up here that knows what it is. You probably sell." So it's been pretty good. So I was having to drive like an hour to get tri-tip or something, hour and a half,
Yeah.
but now it's right here. So I've been cooking the heck out of that lately.
Yeah. I don't know if I told this story or not, but we went to me and Holly first weekend in February. Went to Kansas City for my union thing, and we went to
Mm-hmm.
one of the famous Kansas City barbecue joints called Jack Stacks, I think is the name of it, and it's like one of the three, popular Kansas City barbecue places.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Was it good?
yeah, it was good, but we have this local place I took you to called Dexter Barbecue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as good as that.
Dude.
We and Holly were eating, and I'm like, am I crazy or is this not as good as Dexter Barbecue? And Holly's like, no, it's not as good as Dexter Barbecue.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, that place is good because I've eaten a lot of barbecue, and dude, that place there's as good as any I've ever eaten. Now, I haven't been to Texas and eaten at Aaron Franklin's place and some of those guys out there, but that Dexter's is really good.
Yeah, it is. It's like I can't believe it. It's just I guess because it's just local to me. I would think it would just be average. In fact, a couple of times I was able to meet up with Art, when he came into the area. That's where we ate lunch at both times, So
Right, yeah.
And, but
do they have pulled pork nachos there?
Yes, and fries.
Man, I've really gotten to like pulled pork nachos.
Yeah, pulled pork. I do get that every once in a while. Like sometimes if I go through the drive-through, that's what I'll get. Is pulled pork nachos, and then get the hot barbecue sauce for them. And but yeah, a friend of mine, he lives down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama now. He's a big barbecue fan, and he swears that he hasn't found a place better than Dexter either. Going all over the place and things, and it still blows my mind. So if you're out there and you love barbecue, I need to get Johnny Mack come to the area and try Dexter Barbecue, see what he thinks.
I guarantee you he'd probably come, man, because he just went to Texas for did you see that where he was posting all that stuff?
Yeah.
They had the Houston livestock rodeo out there. It's like a huge rodeo, and they have a huge barbecue contest to go with it.
Yeah.
So he's became friends with some of those guys, and he was out there doing his thing, man. So he'd probably come to Dexter's.
Yeah. Yeah. So Johnny, if you're ever coming through Southeast Missouri, holler at me. I'll buy you lunch. So unless it's on a Sunday, Dexter's not open on a Sunday. So
them and Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Man, do they have that Alabama white sauce at Dexter's?
No. You
ever had that?
I haven't had the Alabama white sauce.
Oh, buddy, it is so good. It's vinegar based, but it is really good, man. I love it.
I've had some Carolina vinegar based, and some of it I like, and some of it's a little bit too vinegary for me. But it just kind of depends.
Hey, Chris, if you're still on, buddy, have you ever had the Alabama white sauce barbecue sauce?
Yeah,
I think you can buy it. You can actually buy it now.
Probably so. I've noticed Walmart has like a whole aisle of condiments now because like every food chain has released their sauces in bottles.
Yeah.
And which doesn't make me mad.
No, not at all. Not at all, buddy.
I always make sure I have Chick-fil-A sauce, Buffalo Wild Wings, Asian Zing sauce, and hot spicy ketchup from Whataburger. So.
Oh yeah, I've got the ketchup. I got that.
Yeah.
Dude, now let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Whenever you came up to see us last summer, y'all stopped at Whataburger. And I went to that same one twice here lately. Within the last 6 weeks, I've gone twice. Dude, I'm not impressed at all, man.
Really?
No, I am not impressed at all. it was kind of dry, and I don't know if I just caught it at the wrong time or what, but I was like, man, I couldn't imagine standing in line for a long,
Yeah.
a long line to get those.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know. I'm
maybe you
just
just, yeah. What did you get?
number one, whatever that it was. And the first time I got one with whichever one that has the jalapenos on it,
Uh-huh.
and
Well,
they were like, and I got it and took it out of the little bag or whatever. All my jalapenos was in the bag, and I'm like,
oh,
man, this is not cool because I don't like messy foods.
yeah. Yeah.
And then the second one, I just got number one, and second time, I'm like, okay, not doing this again. I don't know. Maybe I just went on bad
I'll
days.
send you a gift card for one and try the sweet and spicy bacon cheeseburger.
Okay.
So Chris has tried that Alabama white sauce.
Yeah, that's really good, man. Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
It's not so just a sweet barbecue sauce,
Yeah.
something a little different.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have
But it,
found by accident one time that I'm gonna mess this up. The Louisiana hot barbecue sauce that Dexter Barbecue has.
mm-hmm.
One time ran into my Chick-fil-A sauce on my plate, and that's a pretty good mixture. That's a pretty good mixture.
Is
So,
it?
yeah. So,
No kidding.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I don't know what to call it, but you know, it's kind of my version. You know, a lot of people do ranch and ketchup, which I used to do quite a bit.
Mm.
And but yeah, the Chick-fil-A sauce and that Louisiana hot barbecue from Dexter's is an accident, that happy accident there. So
Man, when I used to live in Mount Juliet, it's right outside of Nashville. There's a guy out there, Dexter's Barbecue, and I know it was not the same Dexter, but it was this old black guy, and he had a brick old block, like a cinder block building,
uh-huh.
right on the side of the road. It's like a country road. To get from the interstate to our house, you had to go down this country road,
Uh-huh.
and it was right on the side. And he was only open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but he would start cooking on Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh wow.
And man, I was still working the night shift at the time for Southwest Airlines, and I'd come home like 11 o'clock, midnight, and I'd be going down the road in my headlights. I could see the smoke wafting across the
Oh
road, and I'm
man.
like, man, so many times I just wanted to stop and say, dude, you got a sandwich to spare?
Yeah.
You know?
Something.
Yeah, anything. There's got to be something that tastes good in there because
Yeah.
there's nothing. There's not a better smell than hickory.
Yeah.
Whenever you're cooking like that, and it got all that rendering all that fat out of the meat. It's just really good. Love
Oh
that.
yeah. 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 So hickory is your favorite cook with?
Uh, it just depends. Are we going to talk about food now? About barbecuing? I can talk about that for
Oh
a while.
yeah, we have been talking about
Okay. Well, I guess so. I didn't know. But
it.
yeah, it just depends on what it is. If it's big meats like pork butts,
Hmm.
or ribs, yeah, I can put some hickory on there. But you got to watch with hickory. It's a strong wood, like mesquite is really strong. I've never really cooked with mesquite, so I kind of shy away from it a little bit because it's just not a popular wood in this part of the country. But
Yeah.
it's really strong. That's why they use it on briskets and a lot of the beef and stuff. But um, but excuse me. But yeah, so I like hickory on that. But pecan, I started using a lot of pecan
Uh-huh.
because pecan has a good flavor, but it's hard to over smoke anything with pecan. I mean, you can, but you kind of almost have to try. You know, with hickory, if you're not careful, you can over smoke something. And that's all you taste is the smoke. You don't taste
Yeah.
the rest of the flavors. But pecan is kind of like an all around thing for me. But I'll mix pecan and cherry like on ribs.
Hmm.
I've got to where I just mix pecan and cherry on ribs, and then of course apple and chicken and stuff. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
use a little bit of everything. But up here well, I've never really smoked with oak. There's a lot of oak up here where I
Yeah.
live. I mean, there's just oak wood laying around everywhere. I mean, already cut up and everything. So I know with pizzas, I have a pizza oven, and oak is good to use because it burns really hot.
Yeah.
And but I'm not sure about the flavor. Like if you smoked anything, if it, I don't know about that. We'll have to
How
ask
about
around. Maybe that's a question for Johnny Maggs.
how about persimmon?
I never used persimmon, dude.
I hate those things.
I've eaten it. I tell you what, persimmons are good for two things: attracting deer. If you ever find
Uh-huh.
a persimmon tree in the woods and you're deer hunting, you just stay around it, dude. They are going to come there, no doubt. Because
Yeah.
it's like a candy shop for deer. Whenever they fall and they're ripe. But they're also good for a good laugh. If you can get somebody to take a bite of one that's not ripe yet,
Yeah.
they are so sour, man.
Oh yeah.
It'll turn your lips inside out, man.
Oh
It's
man.
crazy how sour
But a lot of people just let them fall off the tree and rot, and then they smell so bad.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
Good for getting stung because they attract bees once they get to that.
Yes. When I was a kid, me and two friends of mine were riding our bikes around, and there was this one dog. It wasn't tied up, and he'd like hop out and chase us, and scare the crap out of us. And then it was towards the fall. All the persimmons were like falling on the ground and stuff, but they weren't rotten. And he hopped out and was chasing us, and we were going downhill, so we had to go a little faster than he could run. And we pulled off and started grabbing persimmons and started just throwing them at that dog like crazy. He was just covered in persimmon junk, and stuff. And he never chased us again after that,
Well, I guess not, man.
No.
Have you ever eaten persimmons? Man, persimmons are good, man.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
No?
No.
Oh, my goodness. They kind of taste like, not mango, but what do they taste like? I don't know. They taste good to me. I like them.
Yeah. I like a good plum. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where there's any plum trees.
Yeah. I had a customer of mine at one time. Found out he was like a second or third cousin of mine. And he had a couple plum trees. And he's like, "You want some some plums?" He's like, I got more than we'll eat and more than the squirrels can eat. I'm like, sure. So I stopped by his house on my way home, and he gave me like 2 Walmart sacks full of plums, and I took them home, and I was living with my mom and dad at the time with my boys. And mom's like, "What are we going to do with all these plums?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So we were kind of just sitting there eating them. And my oldest boy, Eli, I guess he was 8 or so at the time. And maybe 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Of course, he loves fruit, still does. Well, he ended up eating like 12 plums.
Oh no!
One after another, and I was like, "Oh boy, this is going to be exciting next couple of days."
Yeah.
As far as I know, he didn't have any ill side effects from that.
No issues.
Yeah. Okay. No. But a few years later, I guess he was probably 15 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And he got sick and was in the bathroom throwing up and was sick. And so went in there, and of course he didn't make it all the way to the toilet. Some got on the floor, and it smelled like oranges, like orange cleaner.
Oh, come on, man. This is more than I need to know. I don't need to know about all this.
And
this
is
one
like,
of those stories we could have.
This is weird. So long story short, he ate like 7 oranges at my mom's that day.
Oh no.
And his stomach was tore to pieces, and I did not feel sorry for him at all. I was like, don't eat 7 oranges.
7, my goodness.
They were the big ones too, not like the little cuties or anything. They were the big navel oranges. And the kids told him, they're like, "Don't eat so many oranges, you're gonna be sick." And he's like, "No, I won't." And yeah, he was. He was sitting there laying in his bed, kind of like holding his belly, like, "Oh." I'm like, "Well, got to teach you not to eat 7 oranges at one time."
Yeah, you don't need to eat 7 of anything, hardly.
No, except Oreos, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's good. Maybe 7 quarts of ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I had some ice cream the other day, and it was so good. But there wasn't nothing to it. It was Holly had made a chocolate bundt cake,
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't put any icing on it. She just put a little powdered sugar on it, and then put a scoop of vanilla ice cream and some caramel sauce on top.
Mm.
And it was
Was
so
it
good.
good?
It was good. And I think it was good because it was just so simple.
Yeah.
Nothing
Oh man,
overly complicated.
I love that caramel sauce.
Yeah.
Caramel. I don't know. I say caramel. I don't know.
Caramel. Well, even though we're both from the South,
Powder.
we're from different areas of the South.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good. I love that sauce. Went over to our buddies Jeff and Susan. I mentioned him earlier, but we went over there yesterday. Jeff did a big crock pot with all kinds of beef tips and all kinds of stuff, and it was really good. But they went to a fundraiser for this dog rescue up here, and they bought this cake. Some little old lady made this, 30-pound cake. It was great, man. It was like a cherry, like dark cherry and
Nice.
chocolate. It was so good, man. It was so good. I ate 2 big old pieces of it. I could eat the whole thing. But
yeah. Do you like carrot cake?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we had some carrot cake for a little earlier this afternoon, actually.
I love carrot cake. I will judge a carrot cake by its weight. If I go get a piece of carrot cake and it's like not heavy enough as I'm getting ready to put it on the plate, I'll put it back down.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. If it's light, it's not a good carrot cake. It's got to be heavy and dense.
Is that your favorite cake?
Pretty close, yeah. I would say it is. So, especially if you put like golden raisins in it.
Yeah. Okay. Golden raisins. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you what, Hostess has carrot cake, the little donuts. They have carrot cake little donuts out for Easter.
Yeah.
Not too bad. They're not too bad.
Carrot cake donuts. I have to try those.
Yeah.
Dude, Hostess no, it's Little Debbie. It's come on strong. Hostess. Yeah, I don't know. I have to try that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was ragging on Hostess the other episode, but the carrot cake little donuts, not too bad. I won't say they're like the best thing I've ever had, but they're not too bad. For Hostess, not too bad is an upgrade in my book.
I'll give them a try.
Yeah.
But my mom makes this strawberry cake. It is so good, dude. And it's one of those like you're talking about. It weighs like 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Cake, double layer, just strawberry cream cheese icing.
Yeah.
Big chunks of strawberries in there, and the icing is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom makes an apple cake. That was her mom's recipe. And it's the same way. It's real thick and dense and moist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good. And it's the only kind of apple cake I've ever had like that.
Well, I'm going to have to call her and tell her, say, hey, I'm coming out, and I hear you make a good apple cake.
Yeah, there you go. She'll make it for you.
Yeah.
She'll make you one to eat there and one to take home.
I know, that's why your mom's something else, man. I tell you.
Yeah. So
I love your mom and dad. They're great.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good people. I can't wait to take them to Tennessee and hang out with you for a little bit.
Yeah, man, we're going to be going to Gatlinburg. I started to go there last week. You remember I sent you those pictures from, it was the Christmas place, but it was the one that's in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It wasn't the Gatlinburg one. So I was going to head to Gatlinburg, but my wife says, it's spring break. I didn't realize people went to Gatlinburg on spring break.
I didn't either.
And I was like, well, yeah.
I thought that you had to be like over 35 years old to go to Gatlinburg.
Apparently not, man. It was a thing because I had, as soon as she said that, I had remembered seeing, it was like in some of the top destinations for spring break.
Yeah.
And of course, it was Florida and all that, but I think Gatlinburg was like top 5 or something like that. So I remember seeing it.
Wow.
So I don't want to go get caught in that.
Yeah. For those out there listening, this is how me and Ken think. We the other day we hadn't talked to each other at all, and he sent me pictures of him at the Christmas store when I was literally getting in my truck to go buy a Christmas decoration, a Winnie the Pooh Jim Shore Christmas decoration from a lady I bought off Facebook.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like we were just wired to go the same direction. It seems like,
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, I just had the urge, dude. I had the urge to. I just wanted to go there. I just go there. I probably go there 6 or 7 times a year.
Yeah.
Just stop in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just see what's new, or if there is a man. They had this. They had this one area that was everything was 70% off. They made sure I knew that when I
Oh
walked
yeah.
in. And I went over. Man, they had these boxes. They had all kinds of decorations, but they had boxes. I'm talking like 3 or 4 boxes full of these decorations
Uh-huh.
that were like a family that was caroling.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen the old carolers where their mouth is open like a
Yeah,
O
like a
or
big
whatever?
oval. Yeah, big oval. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, but instead you couldn't see their mouth. They were lined up just like that. They had on a mask, like a
Uh,
mask they would wear,
uh-huh.
and they were all holding a roll of toilet paper. So they were like leftovers from
Leftovers from
2020.
2020.
They're like 70% off my foot, man. You need to pay somebody to take all this.
Yeah,
Who
you
wants
need to just
that?
throw one in the bag as people check out. That's
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Use them for a fire starter or something,
Yeah.
because they were it was horrible. I was like, who would buy? I mean, I guess maybe you buy one and throw it in your decorations in 50 years from now. Oh, this was that pandemic that was going around.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
That's funny. How we got that eclipse coming up here in a couple of weeks, and Holly made some stuff for the eclipse. Some
Mm.
little refrigerator magnets and stuff, and they've been selling like crazy. Because where we live is like right in the like perfect spot, is like right in that line of that perfect spot to see it.
Mhm.
So people are going crazy over it. And we got like there's going to be a big influx of people coming in to watch it and all this stuff.
So you got people crashing at your house yet for it?
No, not yet, but I might need to consider to rent a room out or something, make a little money.
Man, I may end up out there, dude. I don't know.
Well, I got a room for you.
Just let me use your driveway, and I can park my car in there and sleep in there. I'll be fine.
Mom and Dad's considered partitioning. They got the 5 acres. They thought about just partitioning it out. Little sections for people pop tents up.
Yeah. No, yeah, dude. $100 a night.
Yeah, it'd be like might look like Woodstock out there after a while,
Yeah.
but
Mm. Yeah, y'all are right in it, aren't you?
Yeah, we're right in it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, I got to work, so I'll get to watch it from work, I guess.
So it's a total eclipse, completely.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, total eclipse of the heart. Turn around.
But where are y'all going to be? It's going to be. It'll be completely dark.
Yeah, it's going to be completely dark for 4.5 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah, and they're talking about like nighttime animals would probably start to come out. And I remember the one from a few years back. It was really cool, but it wasn't a complete total eclipse. It got dark enough for like street lights to come on, but it was, to best of my knowledge, it was more like late dusk or something.
Yeah.
And what was really weird was all the crescent-shaped shadows all over the ground. All these. But this is going to be a complete and total.
Yeah, 4 minutes, huh? Yeah, vampires will come out and they'll be like 4 minutes, and like, what the hell, man? They gotta go back in.
Yeah.
4 minutes. That's all we got.
Yeah, 4 minutes. So, my youngest boy keeps saying that.
I mean to cuss, man.
Yeah, it's all right. My youngest boy keeps saying that during the eclipse, that's when Sasquatch has their babies, so there'll be extra Sasquatch born.
Really?
So, yeah. So,
man, we have a Sasquatch convention here in Crossville. I got to go this year. I'm going.
Yeah, you need to. I'd like to go. Our little local museum here in town has a cast of a Sasquatch footprint in it that was taken locally. There's a legend around Scott City here called the Yahoo Man, and a lot of people think it is a Bigfoot / Sasquatch. So, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people is into that stuff up here. I mean, there's those big 8-foot cutouts of Sasquatch you see. People, they're all over the place up here.
Oh yeah.
People have them everywhere.
Yeah. Be cool if they ever found him one day.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was coming home from Birdstown on my motorcycle. Went over to listen to some bluegrass, and I was coming home through Pall Mall down through there, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, man, I would not be surprised at all if a Sasquatch jumped out in the road,
Yeah.
ahead of me. Because it's very eerie at night coming down through there when there's nobody else around and you're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever do this again or not.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything that you just couldn't explain, like in the sky or anything?
Man, you know what happened to me? Two things. One thing, how much time we got?
We got all the time.
All right. Once when I was like in my early 20s,
Uh-huh.
I think it was a UFO got behind me on the exit ramp coming coming home, dude. I'm telling you.
Is these your drinking days or not drinking days?
That was my drinking days, but I still saw this. I
Yeah,
know I
I
saw
understand.
it. Dude, I was getting off the exit ramp. It's one of those long exit ramps, that's like, you can still go fast because it's
Yeah.
not a sharp turn. And there was no cars behind me or anything. And all of a sudden there was these two lights behind me, like a car. I'm like, where'd that come from? He must have been going really fast. Then I got up to the end where the stop sign was and turned my blinker on, and he wasn't behind me.
Huh.
Either he ran off the road or he's like, just zip back up in the air. I don't
You're
know.
right.
But I don't know. That's a true story. That, and then I saw a ghost one time.
Yeah.
Ever told you about that?
No, I don't think you have.
Yeah, I saw a ghost, man. This was in my 20s too. I worked for this guy. We refinished hardwood floors, and he had a contract in Nashville with all the homes on the Historic Society, and it was downtown, close to Vanderbilt area, downtown, and it was one of those 3-story antebellum homes. And, I was up on the 3rd floor. I was just a helper. I was like early 20s, just a helper. This little sander where he would just sand the edges of the walls where the big sander, wouldn't get up there. So you just kind of matched them up and sanded it. And I was up there on my knees. I was running the sander looking down. And to my left was the doorway, because they had the big tall doorways, big tall ceilings, these old houses. And so I was running the sander looking down, and I saw something. I saw somebody standing there. And I knew Lawrence, the guy I was working with, he was downstairs on the 1st floor running the big sander, because I just heard it right before I turned my sander on. So I knew he was all the way down there. Somebody standing there. And it scared me so bad. When I looked up, as soon as I looked up, the instant I saw it, it was gone. But man, it was like a Confederate general standing there. Had a big black beard, a long gray coat, and tall black boots. And that's all I could see. I didn't see him long enough to see any eyes or facial expression. I just saw the beard, the coat, and the boots, and then it was gone. So, man, I went bounding out of that room, down those steps, from landing to landing, went running outside. And so Lawrence comes running out there, and he said, laughing, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Dude, I saw somebody standing upstairs." And he said, "Man, there's nobody here but me and you and Catherine," or whatever her name was, the lady that owned the house. But she was down there with Lawrence. So there's nobody else here. I was like, "Dude, I'm telling you, I saw like a Confederate general up there looking at me, and I'm not going back up there." And so, we just stood there talking a few minutes, and the lady's husband come home for lunch to check on the progress, and he comes walking up. Catherine says, "John, tell Ken what you saw the first day that we came to look at this house before we bought it." He said, "Oh, you mean up on the 3rd floor?" And she said, "Yeah," because they had those posts, those antebellum posts, that go up. And so he said, "Well, they pulled in because it was all grown up and everything. It was just, they redid the whole house."
Right.
He said, "Up on the 3rd floor, just standing out," he said, "I saw like a Confederate officer of some sort, had a big black beard and the gray coat and everything. He was just standing there looking, and we saw him for just a few seconds, and then he was gone." on the
Oh
same
wow.
floor I saw that.
Oh dang.
And she and from the time I told him what I saw, I mean, she didn't go inside and call him or anything like that.
Yeah.
So he came home and saw the same thing that I saw and
Oh
told us.
wow.
And I'm getting chill bumps now.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
but in that house, yeah, they said they had stuff happening all the time, doors opening, closing, salt and pepper shakers would move, that kind of stuff.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
no, it's
Scary.
not. It is not awesome, dude. People always, "Oh, I would love to see a ghost." No, you wouldn't, because if you're looking for it, if you're looking for a
Yeah.
ghost and you see one, you're kind of prepared. But whenever you're doing your own thing and it just appears and startles you,
Uh-huh.
it's a cross between a jump scare and a true life horror. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I felt like.
Yeah.
And it startled me and scared me so bad. It's like, no, I don't want to see another ghost. Screw that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's all right.
The heck
That's all
with
right.
that.
I hadn't seen a ghost, but I I, I always had this thought and with me that I was born and raised Pentecostal, so I can make this place unhaunted real fast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Chris wants to know why there aren't any caveman ghosts. Well, you know why that is, Chris, because they don't have all the mental baggage that goes along with what you have to do to be a ghost. Because caveman, you were born, you ate, then you got ate, so there was no mental baggage to go along with it.
Yeah.
So, but I have never really seen anything I can't explain at all. Although I don't think my sister would mind me telling this. She had, and she was quite a bit younger. I would say third, fourth, fifth grade, somewhere in there. And she would ride the bus home, and that was like a quarter-mile walk from the bus stop to our house. And Ken, as you go to my mom and dad's house, you get on that gravel road and makes that turn and you go up that little hill to their house.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a German Shepherd named Max that he didn't run. He wasn't on a leash or nothing. He just free ran it, but he always stayed around the house. And he knew when we'd get off the bus and he'd be close and would walk home with us. He's a super good dog. And so I was already at the house because I got off the bus earlier than her. And she came in like running, freaked out. And Max was still down at that turn where the ditch is. And it was a little woodier at the time looking. He didn't come home with her or anything. And she told me and my mom that when she was coming around that something, not a person, but something hopped up and ran off into the thicker trees on two legs. And the dog saw it too. That's why she didn't think she was seeing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he stayed down there as she ran up to the house, and you could tell he was sniffing, like looking for something.
Yeah.
And but who knows what it was, or if no one really knows. She's the only one that saw it, that could talk about it. And she was young and it was years ago. But yeah, but I remember her being noticeably up. Not like crying or upset, but like startled, scared. And it was just weird that because normally the Max would have just walked up to the house with her the whole way.
Right.
It really would have had to take something to distract him, from that. So,
well, man, my son has a friend. It does the same thing he does. There's some pretty straight up dudes. They're, and what he does for a living, and he's from not Columbia. It's south of that. It was way south of Nashville. I think it's Winchester, Tennessee, way down there. But he used to really not. It's a little populated now, but it used to like be nothing down there. But he swears to this day, man, that him and his girlfriend saw a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
they were They were going down the back road, going home, and she screamed and looked over, and there was a Bigfoot that was running alongside of them.
Man.
I mean, they weren't going real fast. They were just
Right.
easing along, you know, how you would do when you're younger. But he swears, he said, "My dude, it was a Bigfoot. I saw it." So who knows, man? You know, it could have been a cow, or you know, who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
who knows? But you know, it might not be Bigfoot coming to your house next week, but definitely the Easter Bunny will be.
That's right. I can't wait.
You know, bringing some Cadbury eggs and some of them malted milk ball robin eggs and all that good stuff.
Man, I love all that stuff, dude.
Yeah. Before we wrap up here, I just want to wish everybody out there a very happy Easter, and hopefully you have a great time at, you know, going to church and meeting with family, doing whatever you do for Easter. Just be safe out there and enjoy the time. Just as a reminder, we won't be here next week because of Easter, but we'll be back the week after. Mm-hmm. Please follow us on Facebook or Instagram at On the Porch. And I think it's On the Porch Pod on Instagram. And then, or you can just email us at joinusontheporch@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you. And I don't think we have any big more announcements. I know tonight's the last night of the auditions for American Idol, so not next week, but the week after I'll have my pick for the winner. I'm really nervous because I don't have a standout winner yet.
Yeah,
I think my mouth has written checks that I cannot cash.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. I have a favorite. I don't know if he'll win or not, but I have a favorite. Right now.
Yeah.
But, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll see. But guys, thanks so much for joining us here on the porch. And Ken, take us home.
Okay, I want to thank everybody once again for listening to Todd and Ken on the Porch, and we're gone.